Get ready, it's time for Motorsports Madness, powered by the staff at Race Chaser Online. Your motorsports, your way, every day. And now, here's your host, Jacob Seelman.
Warning, warning, they're being mean to me already.
It's our job.
No, it's our job to talk about racing, which we're going to do right now.
Well, yeah, that's when we're on the air. We're off the air. Our job is to be mean to you.
Whatever. See if I stay the entire show.
Say hello, Jacob.
Hello, Jacob. You knew that was coming.
Exactly. That's exactly what I wanted you to do.
This is Motorsports Madness. I'm Jacob Seelman. He's Tom Baker, a.k.a. the Stooge. Randy Miller's behind the glass somewhere, and Cisco's in a box. Say hi, Cisco.
Hi, Cisco.
See, if he can do it, I can do it too.
I can see. Can I complain this week?
What?
Because here I am in the Midwest in Indiana. I can't fix Randy's webcam, which is apparently fallen behind the screen, which we can see on screen right now. So Randy, fix your stuff.
Wait, what is it showing right now? I'm just curious. The back of the computer?
Looks like a monitor stand to me.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Oh, I'll fix it all.
Randy's camera got discombobulated. That would be the
today's word of the day.
Discombobulated.
Discombobulated.
Absolutely. And I'm
going to spell it. That's a bonus.
Hey, here we go.
Here we go.
Live camera footage.
There's Randy. Oh, almost. There we go. Kind of.
It's not going to stay. Oh, there we go. Maybe.
There.
Look at the ceiling instead. I'll just
It's better than nothing.
I'm 9 feet tall, people.
All right. Well, yeah, we'll fix Randy during our first commercial break. Don't worry.
Can't fix me. You can fix the camera. You're not going to fix me.
All right. Really quickly, here's what's going to happen coming up on this show. We're going to hear from newly minted Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series driver Matt Tifft, who is signed with Front Row Motorsports.
Correct.
We are also going to hear from Jesse Love, who has been on this show a couple times, has been a very good friend of this show, and has breaking news.
That's also correct.
Uh-huh. And we're also going to talk about the Clash and all these fun other things and, probably argue a bit because that's what we do. That's why we call it madness. That's how this works. So, with all of that said, we're going to get ready to boogie on out and take our first commercial break. And when we come back.
We just got started.
I know we just got started, but it's a short opening segment.
All right.
So, yeah. We do have to pay bills. Otherwise, they knock us off the air real quick. When we come back, we're going to start getting into the conversation. This is Race Chaser Radio's Motorsports Madness, and we'll be back right after this.
You own a performance car and you know how to drive, but you want to learn real performance driving. Well, Bunky, get that car off the street and onto the track. Summit Point Motorsports Park, the Mid-Atlantic's premier road racing facility, located just over an hour from D.C. in nearby Summit Point, West Virginia, is the place to go. And you'll find that Friday at the track is going to give you what you need. For less than a monthly car payment, you can attend this regularly scheduled one-day instructional event in your street car on one of Summit Point's 3 world-class road racing circuits. You'll receive classroom instruction, skid pad instruction in their cars, including front and rear skid control, and 4 20-minute in-your-car instructional sessions from a professional instructor. Have fun, go fast, and really learn how to drive. Call 304-725-8444 for class schedules and details. That's 304-725-8444. Friday at the track at Summit Point Motorsports Park.
Green light. Hey girl, school zone. I'm getting hungry. Car changing lanes. You want to meet me for pizza? Stop sign. Intersection clear. Yeah, street. Pizza sounds good. Ball in street? Girl in street!
It's hard to concentrate on 2 things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at stoptextstopwrecks.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Here's an important message from RAD and this station.
Hi, this is Bob Sheehan from Blues Traveler for RAD, Recording Artists Against Drunk Driving. I like to party just as much as the next guy, maybe even more. But the one thing I won't do after I've had a few is get in the car and drive. Don't blow it. Always choose a designated driver. Remember, music lives, and so should you.
Automotive technicians and auto service trainees, how would you like to work at the beach and perform for one of the best car care centers in the nation? Louis Meineke is now looking for skilled automotive technicians to join their award-winning team. If you're a gearhead that knows his or her stuff, or a young up-and-comer that has the motivation and drive to succeed, then you need to make this call today. 302-827-2054. Louis Meineke Car Care Center, located in beautiful Lewis, Delaware, offers a highly competitive compensation plan, great benefits, a flexible schedule, and did we mention that you're going to be working at the beach? Plus, there's a signing bonus for the right candidates. Technicians must be ASE certified and have a minimum of 6 years experience. Beginners advance at your own pace in one of several entry-level positions. But whatever you do, don't wait. These jobs will go fast. Call Tim at 302-827-2054. That's 302-827-2054. Louis Meineke Car Care Center. Rev up your career.
Hi, I'm Noah Gregson, and you're listening to Motorsports Madness on PMN, the Performance Motorsports Network.
Sorry, I'm distracted.
When aren't you distracted?
Well, okay, yeah, fair point.
Welcome back, everybody.
Yeah, this is Motorsports Madness. I'm Jacob Seelman. He's Tom Baker. Randy Miller fixed his camera, which Cisco will show us in a minute.
I think it's right.
Kind
Is it
of.
right?
Well, we can see half your head, Randy.
Well,
that's a
about
little bit.
everybody else sees
It's
to.
progressively getting better.
If you're
Yeah, something like that. Cisco Scaramouza's in
There
the
we
bottom
go.
box. Hey!
Now we
look at
can
that.
see the tech shed.
Knock it over.
There we go.
Yes, there we go.
For those of you listening to our show on one of
Yeah.
our various sources, whether it be live or on demand,
You're missing out.
You're missing out. We're also live each show on our Race Chaser Media Facebook page.
Yeah.
So everybody go and follow or like the page so that you can get notified when we're doing this and when we go live, and you can all tune in and watch us live and then re-listen to us later because it's worth it.
Just in case you didn't think we were live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Living proof that we are.
Or if you missed something that you want to go back and hear again. Anyway, on with the show. NASCAR announced
About
some
time.
things today. Yeah, really. More like Comedy
What did
Central.
NASCAR announce?
So NASCAR announced that there will be 20, count them, 2-0. There's your visual cue for the night. Drivers will be eligible for the Advanced Auto Parts Clash, formerly the Busch Clash, and the Bud Shootout, and the Sprint Unlimited, and I can go on. Their race for pole winners at Daytona International Speedway in February to kick off Speed Weeks, Tom.
Ah, okay.
It's exactly the same as last year with one exception. We now add former Daytona 500 winners to the pool, which adds 2 drivers to the 18 that would have been there under last year's regulations, and we get to 20.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of I think it should just be the pole winners. I'm a purist. But it only adds a couple, and we don't know if Jamie McMurray is going to run or not.
Yes, we do.
We do?
Actually.
Okay.
Indeed, we do. So this was kind of leaked. It wasn't supposed to be out yet, but it got out because somebody found a picture. Jamie's going to run the 40 car. For the Clash and for the Daytona 500. He's going to go out the same way he came in.
Are they going to make it a Coors Light car because they
I
can?
don't know if they're I don't know if they have Coors Light on board, but from
it
what
should
I've
at least be
heard,
the same color.
It's going to be a silver car.
Yeah.
Yes.
Was it a Coors? I thought he was in a Haviland car.
No,
when
he
he
started,
started,
he
he
started.
filled
He
in
was
to the-
subbing for Sterling Marlin.
Yeah,
remember,
the
Cisco?
Coors.
Well, yeah,
in
but
the silver bullet.
I thought his first 500 was in the 42.
It was, but his first Cup race
Yeah.
was
Right.
in the
Well,
40.
yeah.
That's why they're doing
that.
that.
Yeah,
In
that's
Charlotte.
That's
We
the
all
whole
know.
point.
If
Yeah.
you don't know that story, go back and watch that. 01 Charlotte.
Yeah,
Yes.
very interesting story and great
Oh,
for
01?
Jamie.
02
Might have been
Charlotte.
03.
02 Charlotte. Try again.
Charlotte?
That
Yes,
was
02
choice C,
Charlotte.
Cisco.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cisco's math skills are like mine. They're a little bit off today.
I'm also sick, sir. Thank you.
Aw. Wah.
He's under
I'm
the
sorry.
weather.
Hey, I was under the weather last week, and
Hope
I
you
still
feel
did
better.
a show.
Yeah.
Yes, I do hope you feel better, Cisco. I'm sorry.
But Cisco will persist,
Uh-huh.
and we will continue with the show. I think it's cool that Jamie's running the Clash. I mean, I always look forward to that race because
Yeah.
for me, I love the short sprint race. I wish they'd go back to one segment. No pit stops, no halfway, no nothing. Just one 30 or 40 lap segment, done.
Yeah. Actually, I think it was the original format for the Clash, if I remember correctly, was 20 laps with a break, 10 laps and 10 laps, if I remember right.
I thought it started as just one long race, but I could be wrong.
No.
It was so many years
it
ago.
it was such a short race at the beginning. I think it was 10 and 10 when they first started with it.
Okay.
Yeah, so to go back to the beginning here, the format for this year's Clash will be the same as it's been. It's a mid-afternoon race, a 3 p.m. Sunday start time, right after Busch pole qualifying for the Daytona 500.
Yep.
It'll be 75 laps with a competition break at lap 25. And the drivers who are eligible by winning poles last year: Ryan Blaney, Alex Bowman, Kurt Busch, Kyle Busch, Chase Elliott, Denny Hamlin, Kevin Harvick, Eric Jones, Kyle Larson, Joey Logano, Paul Menard, Daniel Suarez, and Martin Truex Jr. That's 13. Past Daytona 500 winners who are eligible for the Clash: Jamie McMurray and Ryan Newman. Former Daytona 500 pole winners who both coincidentally happen to have won the 500 before: Austin Dillon and Jimmy Johnson. And then rounding out the field are the other playoff drivers who were not already in via one of those rules: Eric Almirola, Clint Boyer, and Brad Keselowski.
Did they all win poles?
No, they got in by virtue of making the playoffs.
Yeah, see, that's, again, it takes away from what the Clash was intended for, which was pole winners. I'm not a big fan of that, but I think because it puts basically about half the field into the Clash.
Yeah.
But it's become more of a...
It was even worse when it was like 30 drivers in the Clash.
Yeah.
I'm okay with 20. 30s, the 25 or 30s was like, ugh.
Yeah, I'm just, like I said, I
mean,
I liked it the way it
there
was.
have been years in the past few where we've had 18 to 20 different pole winners in a season. So, if they want to get it to 20, I'm fine with that. The original rules were pole winners and past winners of the Clash. If we went back to that,
Well, the original rule was pole winners. There were no past winners of the Clash.
Well, okay.
That's the way it should have stayed, in my opinion. But
yeah, very quickly they added the exemption for former Clash winners, as they should.
Clash, that's fine.
Yeah,
but.
as they should, as far as I'm concerned. So
that's the Bill Elliott rule.
Yes.
Yeah, I just feel like this takes it away from what it was originally intended to be. It just makes it more of a celebrity exhibition kind of race. I don't know.
Well, NASCAR does bill it as the first race of the season.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
You want to see all the superstars, basically.
It will be interesting to see. It'll be Kurt's first start in the one.
It will. It will. And it will also, I think we all are pretty sure this announcement's coming eventually, be Daniel Suarez's first start in the 41.
Did Suarez get a pole?
Yeah,
he
did.
I forgot that.
Un momento, and I will tell you exactly.
Yeah, so that'll
where
be because we know that's going to happen. I mean, if there's no question, this is the last remaining big piece of news of the Cup Series that isn't news, but it'll be official news when they sign the contract. Everybody knows Suarez is going to the 41. There's no
Pocono.
Who else would it be? He won at Pocono.
He won the pole.
Good for him. I don't remember.
I know why you didn't. He won the pole at Pocono because he qualified third, but the top two in qualifying were thrown out because they failed post-qualifying inspection.
Okay, that's why
I don't call it an asterisk if you're the fastest legal car in qualifying.
Well, I'm just saying he wasn't the guy that everybody was saying. Well, he didn't win the pole. He inherited the pole.
Hey, Daniel Suarez isn't complaining.
No. And neither am I. I think it's great. I mean, I'm not going to happen. I'm not trying to diss that. I'm just saying that's why I didn't remember it because
Charlotte in a Lamborghini and qualify on pole.
Hey, that would have been fun.
So it will be interesting. We'll have some new faces, new places, and it's always. I love the race being during the day much better than I did at night. It was meant to be that way.
Slick Daytona is best Daytona in my opinion because then it brings handling much more into the picture. Which, and by the way, let's also keep in mind that this is the final race under the traditional restrictor plate rules, too.
Oh, yes, Cisco, that's right. This will be the last, at least for the time being anyway, the last plate race.
Yeah, it'll be the last. It'll be the second to last. No, it won't. It'll be the fourth to last. No, third to last. Because then the second to last. No, it is fourth to last because we have that, then we have the two duels, and then we have the 500. And then goodbye, plate.
Yeah, whatever. It'll be the last Clash under the current restrictor plate package.
Yeah.
Cisco wants to be all technical, which is usually my job.
Unless NASCAR decides to leave it the way it is for.
No.
Did they say that they were going to make it a choke the horsepower race in 2020?
Of course, yes.
Okay.
The current package will go into effect at Daytona starting in July, which means it would, of course, carry back over to the 500 in 2020. Right. That's a given.
Just making sure they didn't exempt the 500.
No. No, there'd be no reason to. The only reason,
Well, unless it doesn't work well.
The only reason they're not changing it this year is because they don't want to make the biggest race of the year a complete brand new test of something that's not been on the racetrack at that point.
I think that's more fun.
Trevor
Bayne won the 500 in that situation.
Well, yeah, that was the first 500 with tandem drafting, right?
Exactly.
Can we have tandem drafting back?
No.
Oh, come on.
What can
I like
throw
it.
at you? Be something to throw at you.
Actually,
I'm close enough to just cuff you.
Wow.
Good grief, tandem draft. No. We want to see side-by-side racing and passing, not a bunch of
There was a
guys
lot of passing.
Two at a time. It was like a trailer race.
All right.
Take us a break,
Shush. We're going to break. When we come back, we're going to have more of Race Chaser Radio's Motorsports Madness, powered by HMS Motorsport and My Computer Career.
Do you love the sound of high-revving motors and the smell of burning rubber? Do you want to get your car sideways right at the ragged edge of control? If you've always wanted to try drifting or learn to improve your drifting skills, Summit Point Motorsports Park, the Mid-Atlantic's premier motorsports facility, has the expert instructors and the specialized track to teach you how to drift and the skills necessary to drift competitively. From skid pad to open sessions, Summit Point Motorsports Park has the safe and open environment that allows drifters of all skill levels, new to intermediate, to get sideways and smoking. With a focus on safety and the skill set necessary to drift competitively, Summit Point Motorsports Park's Drift Nirvana is just the thing for you. Call for your reservation today, 304-725-8444. Or for more information, go online, summitpoint-raceway.com, or you can email them at office@bsrinc.com. Drift Nirvana, getting you sideways the right way.
HMS Motorsport is the leader in motorsport safety. HMS serves the majority of Monster Energy NASCAR Cup, Xfinity, Camping World Truck, IndyCar, and IMSA WeatherTech teams, as well as countless SCCA and club-level racers and driving enthusiasts throughout North America. Featuring world-renowned brands like Schuberth helmets, Schroep belts, Adidas suits and shoes, Lifeline fire systems, and even Racecom radio kits, HMS has the right product for your type of racing and your budget. Their representatives are experts on only one thing, making your track driving as safe as possible. With locations in Mooresville, North Carolina, and Danvers, Massachusetts, the HMS staff is always ready to take the time to help you find the right product for your safety needs. Don't settle for second when it comes to motorsport safety. Stop in to HMS Motorsport. Visit them on their website at hmsmotorsport.com or send them a message on Facebook and tell them the folks from PMN Radio sent you.
What an awesome game. What's up with your car? I don't know. It won't start. How are we getting home? Chill. My parents signed me up for the roadside assistance from Lewis Meineke. It was free with my oil change. They'd come and get the car started or get us home and tow the car to the shop.
Good to know. With my driving, my parents never know what to expect.
When you join the Meineke Car Care Club with a $35 preferred service, you get 4 free months of roadside assistance, including tire change, battery jump, lockout service, towing, and more. Contact Lewis Meineke, located on Route 1, or call 827-2054.
When do you think of a plumber? Like most people, even if it's an emergency, you can be confident about who will arrive to help you. For quality and reliability, count on someone you can trust. Call on the plumbing services of Hague Quality Water of Maryland. Plumbing doesn't have to be an emergency. We handle all kinds of preventative maintenance too. Hague Quality Water of Maryland is family owned here in Annapolis since 1993. For a refreshing choice, call us at 888-84-WATER or visit us online.
COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, is a lung disease that robs people of their ability to breathe. As many as 24 million Americans suffer from COPD, also known as chronic bronchitis or emphysema, and half of them don't know they have the disease. If you or someone you love is over 35 and has smoked more than 100 cigarettes in their lifetime, visit driveforcopd.org and take the screener, then take that to your doctor. I'm Jeff Stoltz, and I drive for COPD.
Hi, I'm Brandon McReynolds, and you're listening to Race Talk on the Performance Motorsports Network. Now back to the show.
Metallica just goes with Brandon McReynolds if you know Brandon McReynolds.
Well, yeah, you can make that case.
I could make that case. Absolutely. Welcome back to Race Chaser Radio's Motorsports Madness. I'm Jacob Seelman. He's the Stooge, otherwise known as Tom Baker.
I resent that remark.
Resent or resemble?
Good grief.
I'm sorry. I'm in a good mood tonight.
See, and you said that we're all mean to you.
Hey, if you dish it, you got to be able to take it. You taught me that. Randy Miller and Cisco Scaramouze are
Fair
over
enough.
there.
I'm glad I'm back here.
Yeah, Randy's in the tech shed out of the line of fire.
Randy's
You
there.
can't make fun of me. I hold
Cisco's
all
there.
the cards.
Yeah.
Me and
Well,
Cisco both.
yeah, that's a valid point. Moving on. All right, we talked about the Clash in our last segment, and shoot, shockingly, out of NASCAR land, Tom, there really hasn't been a lot of other news this week. It's been, I feel like everybody's tucking in their stockings and getting ready for Christmas, and we've about gotten everything that we're going to get, except for the fact that we're still waiting for the Daniel Suarez to SHR
yeah, I was
going to
say that's the big thing that we're waiting on to finish filling the Cup field, at least of the major rides that are available. I guess that probably at this point I'm beginning to think we won't hear it officially until after the New Year.
First of the year,
But,
yeah, wow.
You know, but Daniel expected to be in the 41, and that kind of zeroes that out. And then I guess you've got some, Tommy Baldwin hasn't announced a driver. You got a few of those teams, and we're still not sure who's going to be in the 77 under the Spire Sports banner, which is which they have the former
Furniture Row
Charter.
I'm not
not
sure if
the
we
cars.
really have dug into this on the show yet.
It's going to be they've gotten a hold of the Furniture Row Charter, and this is a weird situation because
you're right about that.
You've got a sports and management group that represents
drivers.
a quarter or so, probably, or maybe more of
Not quite a quarter.
the Cup field. Well, not that far from a quarter. I
think 8.
And then they, times 4 is 32. That's 4 short.
Okay.
But anyways, and they represent a lot of drivers, and now they're getting into the team ownership business. It's an interesting situation because the question becomes, okay, you've got all these drivers that you represent. Which one or ones do you put in the race car? How do you figure all that out? The latest word that I'm getting is that this could be part and parcel of a partnership with Premium Motorsports, which would lead you to believe that it will be, of course, a Chevrolet, and that Ross Chastain, who has driven for Premium in the past and is a client of Spire Sports and Entertainment, may get at least some races in that car. So we don't know for sure, but that's the speculation.
I would say if they do a rotating cast of characters, if they want to assign one driver to it, the rumor that I've heard is Landon Castle, who is a Spire driver or has been a Spire driver in the past. Now, the Ross Chastain situation is simple. He's running full-time Xfinity to contend for the championship, and what I've been told by several people is that when Kurt Busch's one-year contract is up at the end of next year, hello, Ross Chastain. Welcome to the Cup Series.
Well, that would figure, especially because you've lost John Hunter out of the Ganassi lineup now because he's gone over. Again, that's something else I'm not sure we've had a chance to sneak in on this show. He's gone over and signed with GMS Racing for the Xfinity Series. He'll be in the 23 next year. So, yes, that would make Ross Chastain the natural heir apparent to the one car when Kurt Busch is done, and it looks like it's a one-and-done situation for Kurt over there. So that would put Ross Chastain in the car in 2020. I guess I'll throw this around the table because it could be fun. Cisco, are you buying or selling Ross Chastain being ready for Cup in 2020?
He drove in Cup, right? He did
he's
some
run
of the
several
backmarker
Cup
stuff.
races. Yeah, he's run a
All
bunch
right.
with Premium Motorsports.
I'd say it's a Bowman effect. I'd say he's spent some time in the car before. If he's ready and he's got good equipment, yeah, I think he'll be ready.
Okay, Jacob?
Absolutely, he's ready for Cup in 2020, without question. He's proven that he's had the experience. Remember, he's had 4 or 5 years in Xfinity, even though he's not been in race-winning equipment. He knows the tracks. He knows the cars. He knows what he needs. He's ready.
And, I mean, here's the situation, folks. If you really think about this, Ross Chastain literally is the epitome of never give up, because he's been with JD Motorsports for quite some time and has driven for other car owners, been with Keselowski, he's been in the Bolin 66 a few times in the Truck Series, he's been around a little bit, and he finally gets an opportunity last fall or last year with Chip Ganassi in the 42. What does he do? He goes out and wins. And wins. And finishes second.
And should have won Darlington.
Well,
but,
actually,
that's right. Kevin
Harvick second because Harvick crashed it.
He finished second at Richmond. He
won
Vegas, and he should have won Darlington
DNF because of the wreck. Yeah,
because he got.
He
Harvick.
won everything up to that point of the crash. So it's that's how you keep going. You stick to it. You keep the faith. You take whatever you can get and just keep driving it forward until you get that opportunity. And then when you get the opportunity, you make the most of it. And that's exactly what Ross did. I can't think of a more deserving driver to hop into a Chip Ganassi Cup car than Ross if that's what happens next year. And, of course, you would think that would be logical.
Oh, you would absolutely think that would be logical at this point. And now, in fairness, if Kurt Busch, as he said, if we go out and win 5 races, I could stick around. And at that point, I could see Chip going back to a third car because Monster will keep the money in it. And then, then life gets really, really fun.
Well, you'd think, because you would imagine that DC Solar at some point would want Ross at the Cup level.
Yes, DC Solar is the key piece to Ross Chastain going Cup race.
Yeah. So that could be a good situation for him, and certainly he's going to be a real threat to win the Xfinity Series championship this year with Chip.
Read my lips.
No new taxes. Oh, sorry.
Ross Chastain is the favorite to win the Xfinity Series championship. Sorry, Christopher Bell.
Oh, wow.
I believe what I see.
Oh, there's a bold prediction. Cisco.
Three races. He beat Bell handily in all of them.
We've got Noah Gragson coming to Xfinity. We've got Justin Haley coming to Xfinity. Cisco, are you buying or selling that it's going to be that automatic for Ross Chastain?
I don't think because it's Chastain, Bell, Gragson, there's enough drivers in the series. Allgaier's going to be back again. There's enough guys there. I don't think it's going to be automatic for anybody. There's enough competitive drivers in there. It's going to be a fight all year long.
I didn't say it was not going to be a fight. I just said Ross Chastain is the favorite.
I say he's a favorite. I don't know that I want to quite go the favorite just yet. I think Chastain certainly is a favorite. I think he proved in the small data sample size that he had that he's certainly going to be a driver to beat. But you've still got Custer there. You got Gragson coming up. You got Haley coming up. You've got a number of new situations that we still don't know, although we think we know, but we still don't know for sure who's going to be in the other junior car either. So we'll have to see how that all turns out. But hello to everybody in our chat on Facebook Live. We appreciate you all joining us, and feel free to chip in as you wish in the chat, and we'll try to get some of your comments on the air as we go.
Yes. And we still have, 2.5 minutes before we go to breaks?
About that.
I like that. Let's see. What else is good? Lots
of things are good.
We can talk about Rick.
What's good to you?
About what, sister?
Oh, I know what he wants to talk about. Jeff Gordon is
yes,
heir apparent.
Yes.
I don't think we can do that in 2 minutes, but you can start.
You know what? You're right. I don't think we can do that in 2 minutes, but we'll at least give him a teaser and talk about it a little later in the show. To make a long story short, what Cisco's referencing is the fact that Mr. Hendrick gave some quotes to Auto Week earlier this week.
Sure did.
When he's finally ready to step away, as Rick put it, Jeff Gordon will be the guy taking his place. Now, I think if you sit down and think about it logically, we all would have expected that.
Yeah.
But to finally hear Rick come right out and say it, this is my plan of succession, that Jeff Gordon will run Hendrick Motorsports at some point in the future. I think made a lot of puzzle pieces finally come into place. And it wasn't just Rick that was talked about and quoted in that article. It actually outlined the succession plan for several of NASCAR's aging team owners, Tom. And I say aging because that core is getting up there in years.
Veteran team owners.
Yeah. They've been around the block a time or two.
We don't want to make them mad at us.
So we'll have to talk about all of that a little later in the show.
Yeah.
But it was a really intriguing piece, if you ask me.
It actually is an intriguing piece. I mean, when you think about, if you're Jeff Gordon and you think all the way back to that first phone call that you got from Andy Graves saying that Rick Hendrick wants to talk to you, and you thought that it was a fake call.
Yeah.
Boy, did it turn out not to be a fake call. We can talk about that a little later in the show. I think right now we've got to take a pause and throw a caution flag for a minute.
Yeah, we're getting to that point. And on the other side of the commercial break that's getting ready to hit, we are going to hear from the newest member of the Front Row Motorsports stable, Matt Tifft, who was able to sit down and speak with us, and you'll hear that interview coming up right around the turn. So stick right with us. This is Race Chaser Radio's Motorsports Madness, powered by HMS Motorsport and My Computer Career, and we'll be back with more of the show right after this.
Everywhere you go, you hear it, and you see it. It's coming at you through your phone, your tablet, and your computer. It's broadcast from your favorite radio station, TV networks, and cable companies. It's in the stadiums, the arenas, the ballparks. It screams for your attention at the mall. It's interactive on Main Street. It's even coming at you from the gas pump at the nearby convenience store. What is it? It's digital content. It's digital content. It's digital content. Somebody has to create it. Somebody has to manage it. So whether your dream is to write it, design it, create it, call it, produce it, voice it, host it, light it, shoot it, switch it, record it, color correct it, edit it, code it, repurpose it, tweet it, blog it, post it, compress it, upload it, replay it, or make sure it gets to where it's got to go when it's got to get there in the format it's got to be in, you need to attend Carolina School of Broadcasting. The skills you will learn, the experience you will get, and the connections you will make at Carolina School of Broadcasting will open the doors to the career you want in digital content creation and digital content management. Call or come by today. Click csbradiotv.edu.
Parents, your son or daughter has had their license for a while now, but you want to make sure they're prepared for any situation they may face on the road. High school driver's ed doesn't teach them to drive defensively. They need to be prepared for any highway emergency. For less than a month's insurance, and a whole lot less, BSR instructors at Summit Point Motorsports Park in nearby Summit Point, West Virginia, will teach your son or daughter how to respond instantly and positively to unexpected situations on the road. BSR's specialized accident avoidance training teaches swerve to avoid maneuvers at highway speeds, ocular driving, which focuses driving attention on ways to avoid accidents, vehicle dynamics and feedback, skid control and skid recovery, threshold braking on straights and progressive braking on curves, and off-road recovery techniques. This is stuff driver's ed simply doesn't teach. So call BSR today, 304-725-8444. Give your kid the skill set needed to drive safely and responsibly on the highway. That's 304-725-8444.
This is a test to find out if you know it all when it comes to children. Name one of the leading killers of U.S. children age 1 to 13. What's the best way to protect children in a car crash? At what age and size should a child start using a booster seat?
Don't assume you know it all when it comes to car seats for your child. Go to safercar.gov/the-right-seat and know for sure. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
I'm Kaz Gralla, and you're listening to Race Talk on the Performance Motorsports Network.
And we are going to roll right on with this edition of Race Chaser Radio's Motorsports Madness. Jacob Seelman and Tom Baker with you, and we are going to go to the phone lines right now and chat with a guest that we're excited to bring back on the show after a bit of a layoff. But, you know, when you've got big news that involves the Cup Series, we usually make a pretty good exception to bring him on. Matt Tifft returning to the Madness and joining us now via the phone line. Matt, first off, we appreciate you taking some time to chat with us, and I think we'd be remiss if we didn't say congratulations on a huge opportunity to step up to a third car for Front Row Motorsports in the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series next year.
Thank you. It's definitely exciting, and excited to get rolling with it, and obviously a huge opportunity to be presented to me. So kind of looking forward to see what I can do with that, and looking forward to the 2019 season.
Talk a little bit about, if you would, kind of how the association and the connection between you and Bob Jenkins and everybody at Front Row Motorsports got started, because I know there were certainly a few questions and a few people on social media that when this was announced, everybody went, wow, that kind of came out of left field.
Yeah, I think we did a good job of keeping it quiet as long as we could. We really kept it wrapped up. Sometime during the playoffs there and towards the end of the season, we started talking about different opportunities of where to go for the direction of next year, and that opportunity came up, and it wasn't something that we were really targeting for moving up the Cup Series, just because we didn't think there'd be an opportunity at that level just yet. But we'd come off a streak of a couple really good months there through the summer, and a strong playoff run. So the timing just worked out for performance measures there, but then also just the opportunity for Front Row to expand their program. And it's pretty cool for me to be joining on as their third car, but really being one of the younger guys that's gone to that team, and being part of a multi-year deal there to try to get my bearings in the Cup Series, but get to learn there under some great veteran drivers there, Michael McDowell and David Reagan. But it definitely just made a sense on a lot of levels to be able to get me in a car to get great experience in, and have great teachers in there, and improve my skills as a driver, and try to go exceed expectations there.
Now, you talk about the fact that you were looking at opportunities for 19. Would you have had an opportunity to stay with Richard Childress and run another year in the Xfinity Series, or were you looking at different opportunities outside of that situation, and this one just sort of came up?
Well, there's a couple different things going on, just as far as sponsorships and partners and where people wanted to go. But I absolutely love my time at Richard Childress Racing, and if I was going to go anywhere in the Xfinity Series, it was going to be back in that 2 car. So, that I had never really even thought about going anywhere else in the Xfinity Series.
Okay.
But really we're just trying to figure out where, we had sponsorship opportunities to go, and, then Bob and Front Row came along and said, hey, we'd really like to do this deal with you, and it made sense on a lot of levels.
Talk a little bit about your season as a whole, because I know maybe the only box that wasn't checked was a trip to Victory Lane, but I really felt like you and the 2 car this year move into a new home kind of treated you pretty well, because you guys were in contention at several races to run for a victory, and I feel like that group that you had yourself surrounded with this year really gelled in a lot of different ways that maybe you hadn't had before.
Yeah, for sure. It was definitely a big year of boosting confidence and getting, back competitive, and, just being in that conversation, especially the second half of the year. There was a lot of times in the beginning where we knew we had good, strong runs. It's just, getting myself the experience with that group, and the confidence with them and me to just get on the same page and be able to finish out those deals. So, I think we looked at the season, had a pole stage win, the second place finish, and some third place finishes in there, and a lot of really strong runs that could have been maybe one situation away from going to Victory Lane. So certainly that was the one part that was a little disappointing that we didn't get to get that win, but we certainly knew by the end of the year that in that Phoenix race, we were right there with Christopher Bell and Daniel Hemrick and Justin Allgaier. We thought the strongest guys in the series, we were consistently right there with them. So, we were knocking on the door, and definitely progressed a long ways from where I was in 2017, and even in the beginning of 2018. So I think that's all you can ask for, is to get better each and every week, and we were able to do that. And, I had a lot of fun. There's a great group of guys, and it was just really enjoyable my whole time there. And, I'll definitely miss it. It was bittersweet when we made the announcement, but they were all supportive and understood that, this was time for me to try to make the next step with that opportunity. And, nowadays you just don't know when you're going to get that chance to be able to move up in a quality car like that. And, it's just a great opportunity presented.
Well, it really is. And it's an interesting opportunity, because you go to Front Row obviously understanding that this is a team that may not be quite as well resourced as, the elite teams, but yet it's been a team that's been rock solid for a long time, and they're starting to increase their performance. Their alliance with Roush certainly has helped. I know there's a lot of, their new cars being built, a lot of things going on over there. It feels like the right time for somebody like you to go into a team like that and become a driver that team could sort of build around, going forward. And it gives you a great opportunity to break into the Cup Series and, as you say, get your feet wet and learn what it takes to run well, at the top level. And as the team grows, you can grow with them.
Yeah, certainly. I think you look at this last year for Front Row, and they certainly had a lot more top 20s and top 15s and a few top 10s in there. So their performance as a whole got a lot better, and I think that progression was because of the fact that you saw them increase their relationship and performance with Ford and Roush Yates.
Right.
And, I think those two things are going to just continue to get better. But not only that, I think you look at coming into the Cup Series as a rookie. This is probably the best time to do it, just because everybody's slate is clean.
Sure.
There's a new rules package, so nobody's got any notes on this thing. So the transition from an Xfinity car to a Cup car is, going to be maybe a little bit easier just because of the higher downforce, and the power is not going to be even as much as the Xfinity cars were at like half the races. So, it's just going to be a transition with the competition and different car and, getting used to those long races for sure. But certainly it's going to be an adjustment no matter what, but I think it's a good time to jump into it.
If you're just joining us, Race Chaser Radio's Motorsports Madness on the phone lines right now with 2019 Front Row Motorsports Cup Series driver Matt Tifft. And I like the point about the new rules package kind of being a reset for you, Matt. You got an opportunity to kind of take in what this rules package might be. Of course, everybody did with the All-Star race at Charlotte earlier this year, and it's a similar variation was used a couple times in the Xfinity Series this year. I mean, what are you anticipating the racing is going to be like next year from what you've seen so far?
Yeah, I think the only experience I can go off of is the Xfinity races that I participated in between Indy in 2017, 2018, and Pocono in Michigan. So I think each one of those races was really different. And then watching the All-Star race, that was a totally different animal than those were too. So it's going to be a little different because the 2019 package still has about 100 more horsepower than what we ran at those racetracks, so I think that's good for recovery. Pocono, I thought we really struggled on recovery out of some of those corners just to get back up on the straightaway, so it made it tough to pass, whereas Indy, you're almost full throttle all the way around, so the momentum stayed up, kind of like it did at Charlotte. So that extra 100 horsepower in there is going to be interesting to see. When I was teammates with Daniel Hemrick, he tested the Cup car at Charlotte at the open test there, and he kind of commented that it sort of drove like a truck, the sensitivities in the air with those aero ducts. So I know there's a second test in Atlanta where they kind of, worked on some different things, and I don't know what the response was from there exactly, but definitely interested to get on the Ford simulator and you get to try it out. But I think for a lot of us going to Atlanta, Phoenix, and Vegas are going to be kind of learning curves for everybody.
I know a lot of people who have followed you over the course of your career know the story, know about the brain tumor, and really the way you have rallied back from that and continued to bring awareness to the cause. I mean, going forward, this is a step maybe the likes of which a couple years ago even you couldn't have dreamed of. What does it mean to you knowing that after everything you've gone through the last couple years, next year you strap in, you get ready to start the Great American Race and realize, hey, this is the pinnacle, we made it?
Yeah, it's pretty unbelievable, especially to think back to those times. I would not have told you that this would be the situation today. I don't know if I would have been driving a race car. So it's just kind of weird looking back on that time. It just feels like such a it's not a blur because it's so vivid, all the memories in there, but it feels like almost a different time and a different person in there. But obviously very thankful now to have gone through it and be, on the positive outcome side of it. But it's pretty amazing, I think, just that everything worked out the way it did. And really, I don't know how many people get a diagnosis like that, have brain surgery, and get a brain tumor removed and be able to compete at the top level in any sport in the major leagues. So I think that in itself is pretty special to me, not on a personal level, but just for an advocacy thing to give hope to other people that are struggling with it. And hopefully I can use that as a great campaign to inspire others and try to get them through their treatments or surgeries or whatever it may be.
Well, and now you have an even bigger platform and hopefully even more rising popularity with which to do that. What would be a good season for Matt Tifft in 2019? Have you thought about yet what your goals would be for your rookie season?
Yeah, I think there's two goals in there. The first one being to try and compete for the Rookie of the Year title. I know Ryan Preece and Daniel Hemrick are going to be tough competitors in there, but like I said, with this new rules package, we really don't know where the field is going to lay out. So I think we have a great opportunity to jump in there and be a part of that race. Yeah. But then I think another goal is to try and finish in the top 25 in points. You look at the front row cars, and they're competing right around there. In these last couple seasons, I think with the rule changes and their recent upticks in performance, year to year, hopefully we can carry that over and try to finish in the top 25 in points. But I think the first thing is just to get through the Daytona 500 and Atlanta and getting used to those 500-mile races and just kind of evaluating myself. And, the fact that we actually get to use driver telemetry and data, I think that's going to be huge for me just to learn off of myself and kind of see what I'm doing. And I think I'll have more realistic goals after that point to kind of judge where I'm at. But the first couple of weeks are going to be learning curves, and nobody expects to jump up to the major leagues and set the world on fire. And I know that I just got to be smart and diligent in getting myself better, and that's all I can do. And we'll see where the results fall out.
Matt, we're coming up against a commercial break, but we certainly want to thank you for your time again, rejoining the show. Going all the way back to your K&N days with us now. And we look forward to seeing you lining up on the grid for the Great American Race in February. We know it's going to be a whole lot of fun for you and the start of a great journey.
All right. Well, thank you so much. I'm looking forward to it.
That is Matt Tifft, and with that, we are going to get ready to step aside to a commercial break, but don't go anywhere because there is still a ton of show left to go. This is Race Chaser Radio's Motorsports Madness, powered by My Computer Career and HMS Motorsport, and we'll be back right after this.
When do you think of a plumber? Like most people, even if it's an emergency, you can be confident about who will arrive to help you. For quality and reliability, count on someone you can trust. Call on the plumbing services of Hague Quality Water of Maryland. Plumbing doesn't have to be an emergency. We handle all kinds of preventative maintenance too. Hague Quality Water of Maryland is family owned here in Annapolis since 1993. For a refreshing choice, call us at 888-84-WATER or visit us online.
Here at Lewis Meineke, we're more than just your average car care center. Hey, it's Dave, your neighbor from Lewis Meineke. Whether you need an oil change, brakes, tires, or anything under the hood, we've got you covered. Take advantage of our free check engine light service as well. Yes, free. And don't forget about our free shuttle service. Never stress, we'll take care of the rest. On with life. Give us a call at Lewis Meineke, 302-827-2054.
Is your job sucking the life out of you? Wake up! You can do something else. Information technology. I know what you're thinking, but I'm not a math and science person. No problem, and no excuses, because it's not rocket science. It's My Computer Career. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today. You can start your new life as an IT pro in as little as 4 months. mycomputercareer.edu. That's mycomputercareer.edu.
Do you love the sound of high-revving motors and the smell of burning rubber? Do you want to get your car sideways right at the ragged edge of control? If you've always wanted to try drifting or learn to improve your drifting skills, Summit Point Motorsports Park, the Mid-Atlantic's premier motorsports facility, has the expert instructors and the specialized track to teach you how to drift and the skills necessary to drift competitively. From skid pad to open sessions, Summit Point Motorsports Park has the safe and open environment that allows drifters of all skill levels, new to intermediate to get sideways and smoking. With a focus on safety and the skill set necessary to drift competitively, Summit Point Motorsports Park's Drift Nirvana is just the thing for you. Call for your reservation today, 304-725-8444. Or for more information, go online, summitpoint-raceway.com, or you can email them at office@bsrinc.com. Drift Nirvana, getting you sideways the right way.
If you own a gun, you have a full-time responsibility. When you aren't using it, be sure it can't get into the hands of curious children, troubled teenagers, a thief, or anyone else who might misuse it. Your family, friends, and neighbors are all counting on you. Remember, always, lock it up. For more information on firearm storage safety, visit ncpc.org. This message brought to you by the National Crime Prevention Council, the Bureau of Justice Assistance, and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Chase Cabrey, and you're listening to Race Talk on the Performance Motorsports Network. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back to Race Chaser Radio's Motorsports Madness. Jacob Seelman, Tom Baker. I was not dippling. I was just kind of moving.
No, that is
music.
definitely not dippling.
No. Cisco Scaramuza and Randy Miller have also been interjecting things at various times during the first portion of this show, and will continue to. Hey, guys. There they is, right over there. And Tom.
Yes.
So we're gonna shift gears here for just a second, but I wanted to ask you your takeaways from our conversation with Matt Tifft, because, man, am I looking forward to seeing this situation. It's going to be 34, 36, and 38 next year, but yeah. I think he's going to be a great fit over there at Front Row Motorsports. I really do.
I agree. He's the perfect. I think he's the perfect complement to David Reagan and Michael McDowell for two reasons. One, he's a young driver who's coming in with Xfinity experience, but no Cup experience. He's got two very crafty and smart veterans to learn from. But two, the personalities match.
Absolutely.
They're all really true gentlemen, and I think they'll all get along great. I think that's going to be a fun team to watch.
You know, and you made this point to Matt, but I want to make it back to Cisco now, that he's a driver who comes in, and at a time when Front Row Motorsports is really starting to grow and get their presence out there more, it gives Matt an opportunity to grow, as Tom said, with the race team.
Yes.
And really not just turn this into a couple of years, but hopefully into a long-term home with them.
And he'll have the same opportunity that we've seen guys like Matt DiBenedetto have, to where he'll have that time on track. By the way, Front Row, they know how to drive restrictor plates. They're not just going to be mid-pack all season. They'll be around in some of these races, and he's a driver who'll be able to bring all that experience, all that time he's spent in RCR equipment. That'll help a little bit, and certainly be able to build his resume as he continues to work on his Cup career. I think it's great.
Real quick, though, don't forget with this new package, like on the mile and a half, it scrambles the entire field. So he's coming up, as he mentioned, he's coming up at the perfect time. It could be real interesting to see how that all works out.
Oh, I think it's going to be really interesting, and I think it could pave the way for some of these teams that we traditionally have thought of as lower budget and maybe underdog teams to shock some people next year and
at
be
least
in
early in the season
to win some races while everybody's still trying to figure this package out. We still have another half of this show to go, so we're going to step aside. When we return, more Motorsports Madness still ahead. We're taking a break. We're back around the turn.
We're growing like crazy and need account reps who know their way around agencies, the internet, and social media. Got connections? Or do you know how to get to the decision makers? Are you fearless? We need you. Internet radio, or as we call it, wireless mobile radio, is rapidly becoming the place to be with almost limitless income potential. So contact us to get involved with the fastest growing professionally produced group of internet radio stations in the world. Your imagination is the only limit here. Call 717-749-0444. That's 717-749-0444. Or you can email us at scorpionradiogroup@gmail.com. You want to ask for Sue.
Okay, so Sarah, I'm dropping you off at Emily's?
Yep.
And Josh, you're going to?
Soccer, Dad. Soccer practice.
Right. Oh, by the way, I just wanted to let you know when I pick you both up, I'll be wearing my short shorts.
What? No!
Yep. and my dorky dad hat, and I'm gonna do my dad dance for all your friends. They'll love it!
Seriously? Why?
Because I like my short shorts. Of course, I could be talked out of it if you guys would just buckle up your seatbelts without giving me a hard time.
It's important to get your kids to buckle up for safety, no matter what it takes. And sometimes, all it takes is your parental powers of persuasion.
Okay, we're buckling up. See, all buckled.
Good choice. I'll just have to do my dad dance at dinner time. What?
No!
Do what you have to make sure your kids are wearing their seatbelts, even on short drives. Never give up until they buckle up. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. Visit safercar.gov/kidsbuckleup for more information.
If you're a gearhead and you just can't get enough of your favorite motorsports on that channel on the cable, or you look at that Guy network and you just go, what does that have to do with me? We have the answer. Performance Motorsports Network. Right here on the internet. The best cruising tunes, the best in motorsports programming, and the best shows. We have opinionated hosts, and we like it that way. If you want to get involved, if you want to bench race, be listening for information coming up soon right here on this channel, the Performance Motorsports Network. Your source for motorsports.
Hi, I'm NASCAR driver William Byron. You're listening to Motorsports Madness on PMN, the Performance Motorsports Network.
Welcome back to Motorsports Madness.
You know, I was just thinking that hearing that William Byron reentry, I wonder if when William was growing up, he always wanted to race the 24 car, but I wonder if he ever thought in his wildest dreams someday he would be literally driving for Jeff Gordon. If, in fact, that would happen while he's still, and he's young enough.
I know.
You would guess.
You would guess that was never in his wildest dreams. But hey, we were talking about that earlier. That the succession plan for Hendrick Motorsports is that Jeff Gordon will eventually take over the business when Rick Hendrick steps away. So all that said, Jacob Seelman, Tom Baker, Randy Miller, Cisco Scaramouche all talking racing. And if you're just joining us, welcome. If you're still joining us, welcome back. We have finished half of tonight's show, and coming up as we roll into the second half of tonight's show, we're, in just a couple of minutes, going to hear from California teenager Jesse Love, who will join us on the phone lines to talk about, as I said in our opening segment, breaking news.
Yeah, it is big, especially for a 13-year-old like Jesse. He's got some major things going on for next year that we're excited to let him get out there.
So, do you know any other teenagers or drivers who, in their years around 13, 14, had run as many different cars and different surfaces as Jesse has and won in all of them?
Well, not to the extent. I mean, there is no other 13 or 14-year-old that's ever won a midget series race and series championship at 13. Jesse's the youngest in U.S. history to ever do that. But, I mean, certainly.
I mean, he's won in midgets, sprint cars, legends cars.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The
models.
top end was there for
quarter
Jesse.
Midgets.
You got a lot of kids at that age that have run, they run quarter midgets, legends, bandoleros, mini cups, whatever.
Maybe they've run them,
you
but
don't
they haven't
go into the
won
adult
in all
classes
of them.
and won at the levels that Jesse. Yeah, Jesse's probably accomplished more by 13 up to date today than any other teenager I've ever known in the sport, other than maybe Jeff Gordon.
Hence why TRD, Jack Irving, and Tyler Gibbs, all the folks at Toyota, have taken such a vested interest and a watchful eye in his young career, and we will let Jesse talk a little bit more about that coming right up, and that's where Randy's going to get ready to take us off to a break so that he can have a couple of minutes to dial Jesse up on the telephone, and we will chat with the young California driver coming up after we do a little business. This is Race Chaser Radio's Motorsports Madness, and we'll be back with more of the show in just a minute.
You own a performance car and you know how to drive, but you want to learn real performance driving. Well, Bunky, get that car off the street and onto the track. Summit Point Motorsports Park, the Mid-Atlantic's premier road racing facility, located just over an hour from D.C. in nearby Summit Point, West Virginia, is the place to go. And you'll find that Friday at the Track is going to give you what you need. For less than a monthly car payment, you can attend this regularly scheduled one-day instructional event in your street car on one of Summit Point's 3 world-class road racing circuits. You'll receive classroom instruction, skid pad instruction in their cars, including front and rear skid control, and 4 20-minute in-your-car instructional sessions from a professional instructor. Have fun, go fast, and really learn how to drive. Call 304-725-8444 for class schedules and details. That's 304-725-8444. Friday at the track at Summit Point Motorsports Park.
Every 30 minutes, another innocent person is killed due to a drunk driver.
My best friend. My brother. My poor grandchild.
My sister.
My father. My husband.
My mom. My mommy.
Well, I've been afraid of changing, 'cause I've built my life around you.
Stop these tragedies before they happen. Don't drink and drive.
The Performance Motorsports Network is a compilation of shows about motorsports. From technical to controversial to just fun, everything you like about racing and gearhead stuff is right here on one internet channel. The Performance Motorsports Network. Tell your friends about it.
Hi, I'm Reed Sorensen. Racing has been a part of me and my family for as long as I can remember. I had to make tough choices early on to get to the top. It took hard work and dedication. But it's those tough choices that helped me prepare for challenges I would face as a cup driver. Make the right choices today and be ready for the challenges tomorrow. This message is brought to you by the U.S. Air Force.
Hi, I'm Matt Tift, and you're listening to Race Talk on the Performance Motorsports Network.
Hey, we heard from him earlier, and I just imitated a trombone. Welcome back to Motorsports Madness,
so to speak.
Yeah, so to speak. Ish. Bad imitation of a trombone. I was a trumpet player. I never messed with all that.
Yeah, you didn't have a slider. You had little buttons.
Jacob Seelman, Tom Baker, Cisco Scaramouza, Randy Miller. This is Motorsports Madness. If you're joining us now, you know why, because we're all completely insane. And, well,
we like it that way.
Yeah, we do like it that way. We're going to get ready to go to the phone line and hear from our second special guest of the night. And first, I have to laugh because Randy Miller was back in the tech shed and got Jesse on the phone line, and Jesse thought Randy was me, which is the first amusing thing for the night. But apparently, Tom,
Jesse
more
apparently
amusing
wasn't.
things.
Apparently, Jesse wasn't looking at the video for the first hour of the show to be able to see both of your pictures. Otherwise,
it happens. I get mistaken for Jacob all the time.
Yeah,
that's not a good thing, Randy. I hope you understand that.
So hello, Jesse. How are you?
How's it going, guys? Good to hear from you.
Oh, it's good to hear from you as well. And I guess the first question we want to throw at you tonight is just exactly how much does a polar bear weigh?
A polar bear weighs enough to break the ice.
Yes, and we're not going to get into why I asked the question because it's one of those we're going to leave it. It's a mystery. It's just part of Jesse's legend that is rapidly growing. But it was one of the funniest moments of the PRI show for those of us who knew about it. And we'll move right on. Yes, I'll tell you guys the story off camera.
Oh, please.
So, anyways, Jesse, welcome back to the show. We're glad to have you back. And dude, you have got some monster news here, and I think when I think about what you're about to tell us, because obviously we know we've gotten a little advance notice here. I don't know if another 13-year-old has ever had exactly this piece of news, so why don't you just fire off? What are you doing for 2019, young sir?
Yeah, well, 2019 is going to be very, very cool. The first two things that are super cool is I'll be running some Wing 360 sprint cars, as well as the SRL Southwest Super Late Model Tour for Mike and Nick and Toyota. And that wasn't cool enough. The coolest news, I think, from what everybody wants to hear is that I'll be running for Keith Kunz in the Power Ride circuit for the 2019 season. And yeah, just speaking about it is one of the coolest things I think I've ever gotten to say.
I like to liked the comment you made to me this week, Jesse, that you said when we started talking about this and finally it was said out loud that Jesse Love is going to drive for Keith Kunz Motorsports. You said just hearing that gave you goosebumps. Have you processed this at all yet?
Well, I've definitely tried to. We were out there for about a week, meeting all the guys, heading to a few races, getting to integrate with the team as much as I can in a short period of time. And it started to sink in, but I know that it's really not going to sink in 100% until, we're on the plane and heading out to the first race for the Turnpike Challenge dates, which is going to be super cool, and I can't wait.
Talk a little bit, for those who don't know, this circles back to the TRD Combine that took place out at Irwindale Speedway back in August in California, Jesse. For those who may not have kind of heard how this all started, talk a little bit about the Combine and getting to work with really the top brass, if you will, from Toyota for the first time, because that performance, kind of one thing led to another, and now here we are talking about you driving a midget for Keith.
Yeah, there was talks, and it was all in the works of, maybe being able to try and, squeeze in a few races for Keith in 2019. And then we went to the Combine, and we did really very well. And then we probably ran something like, 900 laps between us all, or between, each driver individually. So, I mean, you guys can do the math on how much that was. All the drivers put laps down. It was super, super cool. And, I can't thank the Huddleston team enough for, supplying really great cars for us to be able to run. And there was a lot of, testing and evaluation that went on the Combine. And had very good training from a lot of great people that set me up to do well at the Combine in the first place. So I can't thank all the people that helped develop me to be able to show what we got at the Combine. So, yeah, we were able to do exceptionally well at the Combine, and that kind of sealed the deal for the KKM ride.
So, so it was the Combine that sort of spurred the rest of it. What was your first reaction when you heard that it was official and that you were going to go do this? Because I know that you're an open cockpit boy at heart, and the opportunity not just to go race in National Midget, but to do so for Keith Kunz, who has no, at least in my opinion, and I'm sure many people will share this with me, has no superior when it comes to, preparing and putting fast cars on the track. What was your first reaction when you heard that all that was coming down?
Yeah, well, I still remember. Well, there was talking about it, and that was super cool. But then my family and I went out to dinner. And we were, sitting down at the dinner table, and I think it was Trent from TRD that called me and gave me the great news. And I was, eating my food, and I spit it out, and I was like, oh my gosh, something that's really cool, and definitely a moment that I'm never going to forget. And it was awesome to be able to cherish it with my family.
At 13 years old, Jacob, this kid is, he's got to be about the youngest, right? I mean, one of them.
At least to my knowledge.
For Power I.
The only other 13-year-old that I know of that has been involved in any Power I stuff, period, but actually it goes back to another Keith Kunz ride, is Jody Robinson. I believe ran a couple of races at 13 for Keith. But as far as being a part of the formal pipeline, I believe that Jesse is the youngest driver to come into the pipeline the way he's coming in. And I know obviously, Jesse, you've been a part of the TRD family for the last year or so on both the dirt and the pavement side, but maybe this step was even beyond what you were expecting to come down for the start of 2019.
Oh, for sure. I mean, it was, icing on the cake to what I thought would have been, an amazing season, being able to run super late models, as well as being able to run wing sprint cars. I thought it was going to be, the perfect season. And then, it's kind of like when you were younger and you were at the dinner table and you wanted to get ice cream and you got 2 scoops and then, they put another scoop on there for you, and then they put chocolate drizzle, and then they put sprinkles, and they put cherry with whipped cream, and all this stuff. It just, made my year and probably my decade too.
All right. I'm gonna get completely
ice cream now.
I'm gonna get completely off topic since he brought it up. Jesse, what's your favorite flavor of ice cream?
Oh no. There's this ice cream that it's actually my friends and I we were gonna have like a little Halloween deal at one of my friends' houses, and there's this ice cream at Walgreens that's like some no-name brand, but it's like I think it's some version of like Rocky Road or like Oreo or something like that. And that was definitely the best I've ever had for some reason. It was just so good.
He doesn't even remember what it was to go back and get it again.
Yeah.
He just knows it was
Walgreens.
fantastic.
Leave it to Jesse to come up with Walgreens brand ice cream.
Right?
His favorite.
Hey, there is a Walgreens
Hey,
near
don't
my
knock
house.
it till you try it.
Hey,
I mean,
Walgreens, if you're looking for a fine young racer to sponsor.
Yeah. Hey, we know a
There's your
guy.
first free plug.
So if we get into another question, it's going to be another 5 minutes because, well, it's Jesse, and that's why we
And
love
it's
having
us.
Jesse, and it's us. You're right. So I'm not going to get into another question with Jesse, but what we are going to say is we're definitely going to hold Jesse on the phone and have another segment with him coming up around the turn, because I also want to hear more about the winged sprint car piece to this puzzle, because that's one of those moments where I sit back and go, oh, if you think the midget's fun, you haven't seen anything yet.
Yeah, really.
So,
need to get him to talk about that and the Southwest car, too.
Oh, yes, absolutely. So don't go anywhere, because we have much more with California's Jesse Love coming up right around the turn. This is Race Chaser Radio's Motorsports Madness. If you're listening to us, you know why. We're presented by My Computer Career and HMS Motorsport, and we'll be back right after this.
Parents, your son or daughter has had their license for a while now, but you want to make sure they're prepared for any situation they may face on the road. High school driver's ed doesn't teach them to drive defensively. They need to be prepared for any highway emergency. For less than a month's insurance, and a whole lot less, BSR instructors at Summit Point Motorsports Park in nearby Summit Point, West Virginia, will teach your son or daughter how to respond instantly and positively to unexpected situations on the road. BSR's specialized accident avoidance training teaches swerve to avoid maneuvers at highway speed, ocular driving, which focuses driving attention on ways to avoid accidents, vehicle dynamics and feedback, skid control and skid recovery, threshold braking on straights and progressive braking on curves, and off-road recovery techniques. This is stuff driver's ed simply doesn't teach. So call BSR today, 304-725-8444. Give your kid the skill set needed to drive safely and responsibly on the highway. That's 304-725-8444.
You hear that? That's the sound of America's only sports car. That's right. It's a Corvette. But not just any Corvette. It's your Corvette. It's that who cares if there's traffic part of your day. And this can be you when you come to Cooper Corvettes. With 60 years of Corvettes to choose from, there's always a Corvette in your budget. And they'll service any Corvette you bring in. Cooper Corvettes on Route 1 just north of Quantico and Triangle. Call, click, or visit CooperCorvettes.com.
HMS Motorsport is the leader in motorsport safety. HMS serves the majority of Monster Energy NASCAR Cup, Xfinity, Camping World Truck, IndyCar, and IMSA WeatherTech teams, as well as countless SCCA and club-level racers and driving enthusiasts throughout North America. Featuring world-renowned brands like Schuberth helmets, Schroep belts, Adidas suits and shoes, Lifeline fire systems, and even Racecom radio kits, HMS has the right product for your type of racing and your budget. Their representatives are experts on only one thing: making your track driving as safe as possible. With locations in Mooresville, North Carolina, and Danvers, Massachusetts, the HMS staff is always ready to take the time to help you find the right product for your safety needs. Don't settle for second when it comes to motorsport safety. Stop in to HMS Motorsport. Visit them on their website at hmsmotorsport.com or send them a message on Facebook and tell them the folks from PMN Radio sent you.
Hi, this is John Ondrasik of Five for Fighting, here for RAD, the entertainment industry's voice for road safety. You know, style is a personal thing, and your lifestyle is your business. But if you take it on the road, it becomes everybody's business. So please, plan ahead, designate before you celebrate. Friends, don't let friends drive drunk.
A public service announcement brought to you by RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Ben Rhodes, and you're listening to the Performance Motorsports Network, the voice of motorsports.
Okay, so I'm going to ask this on air, and I'm going to let Tom give his answer before I give Jesse his answer.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, so I'm going to get Jesse to do one of these when I go out to the Chili Bowl in January, since he tipped us off earlier that he's going to Tulsa to pay attention, watch, and learn. And
he's going to Tulsa to gawk.
Yeah. He's going to sit there, and
his eyes are going to be like softballs the whole time.
And his mouth is going to be dragging on the floor all week. But it's okay. So
Can
Tom,
I please get in the car, pretty please?
Yeah. So Tom.
Yes.
What would Jesse's theme song be for his reentry? What would you say his theme song should be?
Well, if I'm being clever and resourceful, it would be "It's Hammer Time."
Ha! All right, fair.
The question would be whether or not Jesse disagrees.
Jesse, what would you want? What would you say your theme song is for one of those driver reentries?
All right, so just to clarify, Hammer Time is a song that goes like "Stop, Hammer Time," something like that, right?
Yeah.
That rap song.
MC Hammer.
Yep, that one. I like that one because I like rap. The one that my dad likes is Hammer to Fall. So obviously my number that I've kind of done a lot with is 38, and I really actually enjoy the band a lot, 38 Special. So if I could pick one song from 38 Special, it would probably be I'm going to probably Hold On Loosely or something like that.
There you go.
I was about to say, that's the perfect, except you don't want to be holding on loosely to a midget.
No.
Hold on tightly would be the
Hold on and wheel it.
Yeah.
So for those just joining us, this is Motorsports Madness. Jacob Seelman, Tom Baker. Jesse Love is on the phone with us. Randy Miller and Cisco Scaramouche are back tech shedding things. And we've been talking to Jesse about his news for 2019, that he's going to hop in a part-time POWRi National Midget League schedule with Keith Kunz Motorsports. However, you tipped something during our last segment that even I didn't know about because you hadn't said it at the time, and I want to hear more about this. So what's the deal with the winged sprint car that you're going to hop in next year for a little bit? Because I've been around enough winged sprint cars to know that if you think you're going to be wide-eyed when you get in Keith's car for the first time, you ain't seen nothing yet, boy.
Yeah, I'm really excited for the wing sprint car. I'm probably going to have to go to school for the first half of the year. Definitely. I'm prepared for it. But, yeah, I'll be running a wing sprint car for Harley Van Dyke, which is, for reference, who Cole Macedo runs for right now. So I'll be running for him for as much as we can fit in, because we're going to be running the whole SRL Super Late Model Tour schedule, and then we're going to fit in as many POWRi races as we can. And then we're also going to be doing as much wing car racing as we can as well. So, yeah, I'm definitely excited for that. I've never driven a wing sprint car for sure. I've only driven really one. I've tested a micro before, and I ran outlaw carts. And that's nothing really close to a comparison to a wing sprint car. So. I'm eager to get out there and start learning.
Well, the open outlaw carts are the same horsepower to weight ratio as a 410 Outlaws car. So, but you've never been able to run the open class. You went to, I think it was Red Bluff, you went to, and they told you they couldn't allow you to run at 13. I'm kind of thinking, well, gosh, he won a full midget race, and 3 of them actually, and won a series championship. I would think the mini outlaw cart should be, So you're definitely, you've got a full schedule ahead. Talk about the Southwest Tour car, Super Late Model, a little bit, because it's a different car in a different series, but familiar people around you for that.
Yeah, I'm super excited for this. Part of it because I love stock car racing when you're in a pack of a lot of fast cars, side-by-side racing. There's a lot of, really great stock car drivers on the West Coast in this division, like Jeremy Doss, Derek Thorne. It's home to the Winter Showdown. So, I'll be running for Nate Clark Motorsports, which is who I've ran two seasons with so far. both in the junior late model as well as the pro late model. So we've been doing extremely well with them. I'm trying to get my crew chief and spotter for the last 2 years, Dave McGinnis, to try and come down and help me out there. But he's always saying, "Oh, I'm gonna retire," but I don't think so. I think I can maybe snicker him for another year.
Snicker him? Did
No,
you say
snooker.
Snooker? Okay. I thought you said Snicker.
No.
I was like, okay, candy bar reference.
Snickers is. I was going to say Snickers is candy.
Yeah.
Which it's a very good candy.
Well,
bar.
I think what he wanted to say was he was trying to secure him for another
Something
year.
like
Talk
that.
him into,
close enough.
Yeah.
I like the way Jesse said it better, but that's just me.
It was funnier.
I want to circle back to the winged car for just a second, because for those who don't follow short track racing out on the West Coast, that Van Dyne 5 car has had a long list of drivers who have, and
Yes.
particularly lately, a list of young drivers who have found success. I think Buddy Kofoid's probably the name that most recently comes to mind as a driver who's been in Harley's 5 car. So certainly no shortage of talent has been in and out of that ride, and I imagine, Jesse, you've got to be looking forward to the opportunity to learn from Harley a bit. He certainly has been through the ringer a time or two in West Coast racing.
Yeah, I'm super stoked. And yeah, I met Buddy a few months ago at Ocean Speedway when I was running the midget, and yeah, he really knows how to get it done, and it was super cool to watch him, as well as the whole Van Dyke team. It was so. Yeah, I'm super excited to see how I can stack up in a wing car. And it's kind of something that I've always loved to watch. The National Sprint Car Series, like World of Outlaws and stuff like that, which I think actually Buddy Kofoid is running next year, if I'm correct. But so yeah, I'm super excited, and I can't wait to get out there. I'm really itching to get out in all 3 cars. So this 2019 season is probably going to be my favorite one yet.
Are you going to have to get used to the idea of running with a wing on your over the top?
You guys there?
Yeah, I think the question Jacob was trying to ask is, do you feel like you're gonna have an adjustment with the wing versus the non-wing?
Okay. Yeah, definitely. I tend to actually drive dirt cars pretty straight, which I know that's a big part of wing car racing. So I'm definitely super stoked to see how much I have to change from the open wheel or the non-wing to the wing car. But I definitely love non-wing. So while, I think there's going to be a huge, huge difference in the non-wing to the wing car, I hope that, I have really great coaches around me, and hopefully they can, get me to pick up the pace and, get rolling pretty well there.
I was going to bring that up because, when you think about it, you're 13 years old, and, Mike Nake, and you've had Lauren Ranier, now you're going to Trace Van Dyne. Mm-hmm. Now, all of these great coaches coming that you've had, and Keith Coons now next year. That has to be a big difference maker for you, because I know you're a sponge and you learn and adapt very well, but without the right advice from the right people, and you've certainly had a whole bunch of the best people in the industry, and you're about to have a few more coming into 2019.
Yeah, I've been really lucky to have a family and my father to really give me and put me with the best people in motorsports. Whether it's years ago in a Bandolero to catch up to 2019 in Keith Coons midget. He's always put me in the best stuff with the right people, and that's the biggest part to my success is having such great people around me. That's why we were able to do so well at the combine, was because of all the training and things I've had in the past years, as well as the stock car too.
Jesse, any or all of the cars next year that you're going to be racing, what kind of expectations are you putting on yourself? What kind of bar are you setting for each of the 3 cars and series that you're going to be running in 19?
Well, the goal is obviously to win as much as you can and go there with the expectation of winning. With the guys at KKM, they work their tails off day in and day out, every day of the week. So, they work hard enough to win. So, it's going to be my job to hold up to that and be winning races. Same with the Wayne car and same with Nate Clark Motorsports. I have had a lot of great people, and I wouldn't have this confidence if it wasn't for the great people around me that have developed me as a driver. Whether it's from the mental stage to the physical stage, just to developing on track skills. So yeah, I'm definitely super excited, and I really think that we can do extremely well next year.
All right, you got about a minute here before we get to our commercial break. Sponsors, shout-outs, thank yous. Now's the time to do it.
First people I want to thank is Race Station Media and Tom and Jacob. Thank you guys so much for letting me be on the show. I can't thank my whole crew at Race Face Brand Development and Toyota Racing Development as well. Go ahead and make sure to check out 5150, Home Smiles, Gunderson Direct, Police Insurance, Can Filters, and HMS Motorsports as well. So thank you again, guys, for letting me be on the show.
Geez, you'd think listening to him he might have a future in this thing or something.
He's a pro, that's for sure. At 13, he's got it down.
He does. Jesse, we want to thank you again for being on. Congratulations again on the announcement, and we'll look forward to having you back on the show here once we can get you in a car for 2019.
Awesome. And also, race fans, if you guys want to check out the latest content from anywhere from road course racing this weekend to the Keith Tunes deal, we're on Facebook at Jesse Love Racing and Twitter at Jesse Love Jr., as well as Instagram at Jesse Love Jr. So thank you guys again.
Like I said, he's really, really good at this.
Yeah.
We're going to step aside. When we return, it's our lightning round, and you never know what we're going to get into.
Time to argue.
Something like that. Motorsports Madness rolls on when we come back.
How to be a great dad in 15 seconds. Bike ride, go fish, walk in the park, phone call, milkshake, play catch, picnic, fly a kite, tell jokes, laugh, talk, read a story, tell a story, bumper car, swing set, bowling, pillow fight, cut loose, stay tight. Whew. Because the smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Automotive technicians and auto service trainees, how would you like to work at the beach and perform for one of the best car care centers in the nation? Louis Meineke is now looking for skilled automotive technicians to join their award-winning team. If you're a gearhead that knows his or her stuff, or a young up-and-comer that has the motivation and drive to succeed, then you need to make this call today. 302-827-2054. Louis Meineke Car Care Center, located in beautiful Lewis, Delaware, offers a highly competitive compensation plan, great benefits, a flexible schedule, and did we mention that you're going to be working at the beach? Plus, there's a signing bonus for the right candidates. Technicians must be ASE certified and have a minimum of 6 years experience. Beginners advance at your own pace in one of several entry-level positions. But whatever you do, don't wait. These jobs will go fast. Call Tim at 302-827-2054. That's 302-827-2054. Louis Meineke Car Care Center. Rev up your career.
You hear that? That's the sound of America's only sports car. That's right. It's a Corvette. But not just any Corvette. It's your Corvette. It's that who cares if there's traffic part of your day. And this can be you when you come to Cooper Corvettes. With 60 years of Corvettes to choose from, there's always a Corvette in your budget. And they'll service any Corvette you bring in. Cooper Corvettes on Route 1 just north of Quantico and Triangle. Call, click, or visit CooperCorvettes.com.
How to deal with someone who says that's so gay. Outsmart them.
This party is like so gay. Totally.
Excuse me, but did you ladies know the word gay used to mean happy or excited? Then it became a word used to describe gay people. Then somehow it came to mean dumb or stupid, which is how you just used it, which is not very nice.
Ew, that guy is on the football team and super smart, and he totally hates us now. Totally.
When you say that's so gay, do you realize what you say? Knock it off. Learn more at thinkbeforeyouspeak.com.
Hi, I'm Cole Custer, and you're listening to the Performance Motorsports Network, the voice of motorsports.
Welcome back to Motorsports Madness. Jacob Seelman, Tom Baker. Cisco's going to press a button. Maybe.
There he goes.
There we go.
Hello, Cisco.
Hello, Cisco.
And we've got Randy Miller.
And Randy's back there somewhere. I thought Cisco was going to press the Randy Cam button.
Yeah.
Say hi, Randy.
There it is.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, wait,
now we got everybody.
All right. So I wanted him to press the button for everybody because it's time for the lightning round, and usually everybody gets a piece of the lightning round. And I'm going to start with the most controversial Shocking, right? Subject of the day.
That's what it's all about.
That is what it's all about. And the frustrating, for me, part of the 2019 Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series schedule, the fact that there are a whopping none races that start before 2 o'clock Eastern Time in 2019. I will go around.
Well, I will pick that right up. And I'm more interested in going to Cisco and Randy first. So we'll start with Cisco and ask the question, are you buying or selling that this is a good idea to start 0 races before 2 o'clock Eastern in the afternoon for NASCAR racing?
Why? That's what I want to know. For all the people who have to work, like, I get from a spectator standpoint, I understand that side of it. For all the people I have to work, and I had to explain this to one of my friends, it especially hurts when it's nighttime races. Because everyone thinks once the race is over, that's it. No, that's not it. So especially night races, that stinks. But even now for Sunday races, Jacob, you're not going to be able to leave a track before, 7, 8 o'clock?
Something like that.
Well, I see. All right, we'll get Randy's take on this. Are you buying or selling? Do you like the 2 o'clock or later start time or no?
I have different like thoughts about this, because I feel like it's kind of good in the way of, like, if you think, okay, some people are in church on Sunday morning, so when they get out of church at 12 or whatever, they go home. Okay, the race has started. I think from a ratings kind of / watchable standpoint, it's probably a good idea, because now everybody knows what time the race starts. So you don't have to go, well, gee, I wonder what time the race is on, and then you've missed an hour of the race because it started at 11 or 12 or 1 or whatever. So from that standpoint, I get it, but I also can see why it's, as Cisco said, I mean, from somebody who likes to go to the races a lot before I became a media person, that's like 6 hours of the track. So now you're talking about, 7, 8 o'clock before you actually get out to your car, and then another 3 hours to get out of the parking lot. So now you're talking about 9 or 10 o'clock before you get home. So I can see both ways.
Well, and see, I kind of do too, in the sense that NASCAR swears up and down that the bulk of its TV audience is coming from the West Coast. Now, I can't dispute that because I don't know, but so I kind of get it from that standpoint.
Maybe.
But the thing is, like the church thing, I kind of get that too, but they could start it at 1 o'clock. You'd still have time to get home from church. I like the earlier start times. If I'm at the track, I don't care if I'm working an extra hour later or not, because I'm there to do a job, and that's. But I just wish they would start races earlier than that, because and they're not all going to be at the same time either. That it's not every race going to be at 2 o'clock. It's no race will start earlier than 2.
Correct.
You're still going to get later start times, especially some of the West Coast races.
Yeah, the earliest race is Atlanta, which is a 2 p.m. start time.
Yeah, so, I mean, I kind of look at that, and I'm not that crazy about it because it ends too late for my taste in the evening. I'd rather, a 1 to 4, 1 to 3, 1 to 4 kind of thing, and then you still got more time afterward to do whatever.
Right.
You start races at 2, 3 o'clock Eastern, after the 3:30, whatever. Your whole day's shot. You can't really go out and do anything after you're done watching the race.
May I do a visual to accompany me here that I rarely do, except when I get really mad?
As long as it's family friendly.
Okay.
Uh-oh. Jacob's up.
I've
He's
only
moving
done
to
this
the camera.
once.
He's moving to the camera, folks.
Dear NASCAR, what are you doing?
Okay, was that pertaining to the previous topic, or
it was pertaining to the start time, since nobody ever let me chime in on that.
Well, you could have done that first, and then.
Well, no,
anyway.
you said you were going to Cisco and Randy.
Well, it's because your mic left you for a minute.
Yeah,
it's because NASCAR turned your mic off because they knew what you were going to say.
Something like that.
I mean, hey, you guys know that how many times this past year has the races said they were going to start at 2, but because of rain or because of weather or because of whatever, they started an hour early anyways.
Thank you. Well, thank you, and Randy, that's the other that's the other reason why I don't like the later start times, is because you paint yourself into a box if you have rain.
Yep. Yeah, and then you got to back it up And everybody follows suit anyway. And then sometimes we get, well, it's going to start on CNBC. No! I mean.
Or Fox Business.
Yeah, Fox. Yeah, I mean, it's like, no! I mean, that's the problem. As Jacob said, You're right. That's a good point. If you schedule the start time earlier and you need to postpone it an hour, it's still not real late.
Right.
Exactly.
All right. I have a lightning round topic now.
Go ahead.
Martinsville Speedway rolled out this week a new nickname for the half-mile track. It's traditionally been called the Paperclip. They've rolled out a new nickname for the 2019 season, the Half Mile of Mayhem. Are you buying or selling that nickname?
Oh, I'm absolutely buying it. There's only 2 tracks in the NASCAR Cup schedule that could claim to be that, and they are Bristol and Martinsville. Bristol doesn't need that nickname. I agree. Half Mile of Mayhem is good. It's still a paperclip. The paperclip was really never that friendly, though. That wasn't.
No.
That's kind of, people say it's a paperclip because there's no banking or anything. So I think the Half Mile of Mayhem is actually appropriate. I'll let you go around the rest of the table.
All right, Randy, buying or selling it?
I would think after all these years of calling that track the Paperclip, they would get Staples or Office Depot to finally sponsor it.
Yes! Yes!
So I like the Mayhem name better because I think, you might as well take advantage of what's been happening at your track. So if that track has become notorious for, basically altering the chase, for the rest of the schedule, you might as well take advantage of the name and, hey, why not?
Dear Brooks Taylor, you can hire Randy to do your marketing at Randy at.
Yes, that is exactly right.
Cisco, buying or selling the nickname?
I think like any kind of change in either a track's branding or its name, it's going to take a little while for us to, get used to it. Oh, hi, ISM, by the way.
Yeah.
And as our old friend Rents Brown told me last week, Erporp Lorp. For Lucas Oil Raceway in Indianapolis because they've gone through 5 different names. So it'll take some getting used to, but I think it'll stick.
Well, I mean, Motorsports Madness is already taken, so the Half Mile of Mayhem is probably pretty close.
Wait a minute, now money talks.
No, we
can give it to them.
We weren't selling under any price.
Maybe you're not.
We can broadcast live from Martin.
Well, that would be they'd have to let us broadcast live from the track.
Something like that. All right, moving on. Silly season is not over. We talked earlier that we're still waiting for the Daniel Suarez to Stuart Haas pin to drop. But as we close in on the end of 2018 and start to look ahead to the upcoming season, of the silly season moves in NASCAR that have been announced,
Are you just talking Cup?
No, any of the 3 series. This could be Cup, Xfinity, or Trucks. Which silly season move are you the biggest fan of?
Biggest fan of?
Yes. Who do you think has made the best silly season move so far?
Noah Gragson to Junior Motorsports in my book gets. It's the perfect way for Noah to advance his career, and I think that boy's going to run for a championship right out of the box in whatever number the car is.
All right, Cisco?
Yep, there goes. Tom stole my point. That was going to be the biggest thing for me is Gregson going to Junior Motorsports. Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, Randy.
I actually think the biggest thing is going to be Kurt driving the 1.
Really?
I really think that him and Kyle together are going to do quite a bit of damage in that series next year. I really, really do.
Interesting. Stephen Blakesley in our chat says Reddick to Junior. Reddick is, of course, leaving Junior and going to RCR, which is going to be intriguing.
Yes.
It's going to be intriguing to see how Tyler. We're hearing rumors that maybe the only Xfinity car out of that shop this year. So with focused attention, we'll see what he does.
So I'm going to go completely off the board here a little bit and actually bring up something that I'm not sure that we've really talked about a whole bunch, but I think that this is a big, big win, and I think he's going to shock a lot of people next year in the equipment. Daniel Hemrick to the Cup Series, for me, is the biggest win of silly season so far. Not just because of the story and because he has just scratched and clawed to get there, but honestly, because I believe that Daniel Hemrick could be the biggest source of light and the biggest source of strength for Richard Childress Racing since Kevin Harvick was in his prime in the 29 car at RCR. I believe Hemrick has what it takes. Yes, he hasn't won a NASCAR National Series race yet, but he's shown potential. He's shown he's capable, and I believe he will win. Maybe not next year in the Cup Series, but I believe he will win sooner rather than later in RCR equipment at the top level of the sport. Cisco, you have a topic now.
Can I go completely off kilter and do something not NASCAR related?
Yes, of course. Quickly.
I think I know where you're going.
Daniel Ricciardo's going to Renault.
Oh.
What?
Is that a buy or sell question?
That is a buy or sell. Do you buy Daniel Ricciardo going to Renault, and Renault, according to them, having this ambitious new world where Renault will own us all? Do you buy that?
I buy that he's going to have a better shot at running for wins with a factory team than he did with Red Bull, because I believe that Renault, with the right driver and with the right driver to build their team around, can actually do something.
I think Jacob's running a fever.
Hey, listen, you do remember that when Fernando Alonso was with Renault, they were really, really good, right?
Yes, and how long ago was that?
That was almost 15 years ago,
Good
Jacob.
grief.
It doesn't matter. The sport
I
is
had
cyclical.
hair back then.
The sport is cyclical.
Randy, quickly, you want to take a shot at that?
No, everything that Jacob said, I feel like, I mean, it's 15 years ago, so who really knows? But, I mean.
Gosh, I'm going to tell you why I'm buying it. I thank you, Daniel Ricciardo, because of that, Pierre Gasly gets to go to Red Bull, and I think Pierre Gasly and his new young teammate at Red Bull, Max Verstappen, are going to be the most exciting team in F1 to watch next year.
Oh, well, that's a 2-inch limb. All right, final.
Exciting or crash prone?
Both.
All
right. All right. Hey, Cisco went to open wheelers. Final topic in this lightning round, however, does not have to do with open wheelers, but has to do with the broader motorsports spectrum as a whole. Earlier this week, the short track racing community was dealt a tough blow when we found out that longtime Whelen Engineering Vice President of Motorsports Phil Kurz passed away suddenly after a very lengthy illness. We knew that Phil had been not well over the past couple years, Tom, and this was tough. Not just because we got the chance to interact with Phil the first couple years at the NASCAR Home Tracks banquets, but my goodness, the support he gave to the Modified Tour, the support he gave to the Whelen Euro Series, to short track racing. Phil was as instrumental, I feel like, to the sport as somebody like T. Wayne Robertson, and his impact at 69 years old, he's going to be missed.
It's gentlemen like Phil from companies like Whelen who make our sport what it is. Yeah, the loss is going to be felt. We believe Whelan's support continues, obviously. But,
absolutely.
We're going to miss him terribly.
They are under contract, by the way, with the NASCAR
family.
Weekly Series for quite some time, as well as the Tour. But our thoughts and prayers are with the Kurz family, and certainly with all of the Whelen Engineering family on the loss of Phil Kurz at 69 on Wednesday of this week. With that, we step aside and we close Motorsports Madness right after this. Stay with us.
Here's an important message from RAD and this station.
Hi, this is Bob Sheehan from Blues Traveler for RAD, recording artists against drunk driving. I like to party just as much as the next guy, maybe even more, but the one thing I won't do after I've had a few is get in the car and drive. Don't blow it. Always choose a designated driver. Remember, music lives, and so should you.
Motorsports Sales Professionals. Performance Motorsports is looking to build a team of experienced media sales professionals to represent our programming to the industry's top companies, magazines, and racing series. If you have motorsports sales or marketing experience, know how to work with agencies, understand social media, and are incredibly creative when it comes to working with clients and promotions, then we want to hear from you. Top performers are richly rewarded. Your imagination is the only limit here. Call 717-749-0444. That's 717-749-0444, or email us at scorpionradiogroup@gmail.com. You want to ask for Sue.
You are a waste. A loser. Everyone hates you. Why don't you just stay in your car and keep driving? I'm serious. Drive until you run out of gas, then get out of your car and walk until you find someone who doesn't think you're dumber than bricks. Could take a while, but at least all that walking might burn a couple of calories. You may not witness bullying like this every day. Your kids do. They want to help, but they don't know how. Visit stopbullying.gov to learn safe, simple ways your child can help stop bullying. Be more than a bystander at stopbullying.gov. A message from the Ad Council.
You own a performance car and you know how to drive, but you want to learn real performance driving. Well, Bunky, get that car off the street and onto the track. Summit Point Motorsports Park, the Mid-Atlantic's premier road racing facility, located just over an hour from D.C. in nearby Summit Point, West Virginia, is the place to go. And you'll find that Friday at the Track is going to give you what you need. For less than a monthly car payment, you can attend this regularly scheduled one-day instructional event in your street car on one of Summit Point's 3 world-class road racing circuits. You'll receive classroom instruction, skid pad instruction in their cars, including front and rear skid control, and 4 20-minute in-your-car instructional sessions from a professional instructor. Have fun, go fast, and really learn how to drive. Call 304-725-8444 for class schedules and details. That's 304-725-8444. Friday at the Track at Summit Point Motorsports Park.
Hi, I'm Tyler Reddick, and you're listening to Race Talk on the Performance Motorsports Network.
Hey, welcome back to the show. We're glad to have you aboard. Just a closing thought here, because I know it's the end of the year, getting close to the end of the year, and some of you might be thinking about a career change. I got a great idea for you. How about a new career as an IT professional? You can get that in as little as 4 months with My Computer Career. My Computer Career has financial aid available for those who qualify, including the GI Bill. There are 7 different campuses across the country, or you can do it online just 2 to 3 times a week. It will get you what you need to start your new career. mycomputercareer.edu. Take the free career test and see where you're at. mycomputercareer.edu. mycomputercareer.edu. Jacob, what have you to say?
What I have to say is I can't.
We're out of here.
Yeah. No, we will be in just. I can't believe this show's already over.
I know.
That just goes to show how much things blow by here, and the fact that we have to pack our last segment into 1 minute 47 seconds. So I guess that's where we should say thanks to Jesse Love and as well to Matt Tifton, Front Row Motorsports, for helping to make that interview possible for us during the first half of tonight's show. We appreciate their time. And
thanks to everyone who tuned in to listen and joined us in our chat tonight on Facebook Live.
Absolutely. We couldn't do it without you, the fans and listeners and viewers, so we thank our listening audience and want to also thank My Computer Career and HMS Motorsport for what they do to make this show possible. And that's the part where I say goodnight, Gracie, because we got to get the heck on out of here. So for Tom Baker, Cisco Scaramuza, and Randy Miller back in the tech shed, I'm Jacob Seelman, leaving you with this thought. If you're headed to a racetrack somewhere, first keep your eyes open, because you might just see us there. And as my good friend Mitch Walker always says, take somebody racing with you, because that's the only way to grow this sport. So have a safe racing weekend till we meet again.
You've been listening to Motorsports Madness with the Race Chaser Online crew. Stay tuned to Performance Motorsports Network for more race talk. For the latest motorsports news, visit racechaseronline.com. Motorsports Madness is a copyrighted production of the Performance Motorsports Network, www.performancemotorsportsnetwork.com. A member of the Scorpion Radio Group Incorporated, and may not be rebroadcast, replicated, or saved in any media without the explicit written permission of PMN. Check out our Facebook page or our section in the PMN website. The opinions expressed on this program are those of the host, co-hosts, and guests, and do not necessarily reflect those of the management and ownership of either the Performance Motorsports Network or Scorpion Radio Group Incorporated, the advertisers, or the marketing partners. Be listening again next week when the madness returns on Monday night at 7 Eastern. Until then, keep it off the wall and keep the shiny side up.